often as just humans in general, but especially as creative entrepreneurs, we find ourselves saying, I can't seem to get to that plateau. I can't seem to make the next level happen for me. I am stuck. I'm just spinning. I see Susie. I see Mark. I see so many other people doing things better. I see so many other creative business owners having success. Or at least that's what you think so based on their IG reels. That's mindset, my friends. That's mindset. Now, I know that sometimes we get woohoo and we get caught up in the Bobby, that's just affirmation. That's manifestation. I'm going to tell you that we are having a conversation today. We are talking about mindset. Y'all know that I'm very honored and privileged to be a mindset coach. Well, I have teamed up with two other mindset coaches, affectionately known as the Hollas, Jenny and Jay. And we're going to take you on a 5-week course. You know, it's really is a course. It's a 5-week session. We're doing this on Clubhouse. So we have our rooms on Clubhouse. We invite others to come up and share. And we are talking about mindset. Each week, there's a topic. Each week, the conversation will help move you at the end of the month to gain back and refocus and reframe the I can't seem to this is what I'm going to do. By the time next week, I will have accomplished this, or look where I'm going. You'll have a clear vision, you're going to get clarity, and you're going to understand that you were meant to do this. You're going to understand it because you are meant to do this. So on today's episode, what we're talking about is, is your mindset empowering you? Is your mindset empowering you? We're going to talk about going from fixed mindset to growth mindset. We ask some questions. We have a worksheet. You'll be able to get that in show notes to download and follow along on your own path. Fill this worksheet out as you grow. Every week we're going to have that. This is week 1 of our mindset series. Again, joined by my friends and fellow mindset coaches, the Hollas. Is your mindset empowering you? This is the Be Fave podcast. That's what we're talking about today. Be right back. Thanks for listening to the Be Fave podcast. Episodes full of candid conversations that speak to the hard truth that it takes more than hustle and luck to be your own CEO. Being a creative entrepreneur and running a business is not at all like the glam that you see on Instagram or reality TV. The truth is, it's showing up every single day, putting in the blood, sweat, and yes, lots of tears. Oh, do not forget all the hard work. I'm your host, Bobby Brinkman, photographer, coach, speaker, wedding industry educator, diet Mountain Dew addict. You see why, right? I am hitting the pause on that hustle and luck myth button because it's more than getting a really cute website and hanging a now open sign. Not just waving the magic wand so that all the success, money, and clients will just be lined up, ready to hire you. Hope is not a business strategy, my friends. And along with my guests, the goal of our podcast is to motivate, educate, and celebrate creative entrepreneurs discussing topics and information that will help you get and keep you in that CEO mindset through our candid conversations. You're going to hear stories from other creatives at different stages along their career journey. They'll be sharing the same struggles you have, as well as business insights, tools, and foundations that they have in place to keep their businesses moving forward, no matter what kind of SHIT tries to knock you off your career path. I want to challenge you to unapologetically keep showing up to attract your ideal clients, serve them in the most fab way while collecting a purpose-driven paycheck. I want to empower you to create a career that you not only love and are proud of, but also one that your clients love and will support even more. Now let's get started. So Jay, let's start off a little bit and let's help our audience here know what is empowering mindset. What is our definition of that, my friend?
An empowering mindset is it's basically the foundation to what's going to keep you going. It's not like sitting and when you get hit with certain distractions, certain things that happen in your life, not only in your business as well. And sometimes we have those pity parties that we want to invite people to. Like, empowering is learning from the situation, getting better, and knowing and understanding that um, you can learn anything from the situation, and you are the one in control to shift it to whatever you choose to look at it. So if it's a bad situation and you choose to see it as a bad situation, it's going to be a bad situation. If you choose to take something from that situation and grow and get better and improve, you're going to do that. So empowering means you're in the driver's seat.
I love that. All right. So, everybody, got your favorite beverage. You got these great seats. Let's dive in. Jenny, why don't you kick us off with our first two questions?
So I want to add something here to add on to what Jay was saying about the empowering mindset. Is the thing is we have lots of different aspects of our life. We have our business, we have different things, and sometimes we find ourselves having an empowering mindset in one place, but maybe not in another. And it does take us digging deep and searching deep. And if you find yourself being like, well, I already am empowered, or I already have a growth mindset, or if you find yourself thinking those things, I think that's a great time to
Yep.
challenge yourself, because our first questions are, we want you to write down and identify 3 areas of your business where you have a fixed mindset, and 3 areas of your life where you have a fixed mindset. And really, a good way to know if you have a fixed mindset is if this is a place that you're stuck, or if you find yourself maybe even saying absolutes about what is possible. You're saying, well, I can't make any more money doing what I'm doing, or I can't grow like that person, or anything where you find yourself maybe placing a limitation on yourself, whether it's something you believe or something you've picked up from society or the industry or wherever. It could even be a family thing. Oh, well, we're not supposed to go do that. That's not what we do. You want to identify 3 places where you have a fixed mindset, because this is the first step to growth. I mean, when you're aware and you can bring and bubble these things up to the surface, then you are able to actually make the change. But it does take us eating a piece of that humble pie sometimes and actually admitting these things, because a lot of times our ego can get in the way, and we could have a whole nother talk on ego. But for sake of this conversation, guess what? Nobody's looking at your sheet except for you.
Right.
This is just yours.
And Jay, if we can on that, when we want everybody to write 3 things down. If you want to write more down, go ahead. But we want you to be honest here, right? We want you. This is the hard work, y'all. This is where it starts. If you go around your entire life and have been told I can't, or well, we've always done it this way, these are fixed mindsets, Jay. And so maybe dive a little bit about why the I can't needs to be removed from your vocabulary.
Definitely. For first things first, like, you can do anything you choose to do. So even in that situation, it's not that you can't, because you probably can. It's you making that choice to do or don't. So even with that, if you find yourself saying I can't, stop yourself, catch yourself, and rephrase and reframe that, and ask yourself, are you choosing not to? Because if you're choosing not to, it's not a matter of you can or can't. It's will you or won't you, and that's totally different. So even if you think about it, if a client says, "Oh, I need X, Y, and Z," and you're like, "No, I can't do that." Yeah, you can. If you want to, you can you can move mountains, But if you think about boundaries and all these things in place, or is it going to stress you out? Is it going to bring friction between, like, you and your significant other, and all these other things? And it's like, you have the power to do that. So yeah, you can, but will or won't you? It's just making that decision. So even can is a low frequency word. You know what I'm saying? It's a limiting word,
Right.
even if you think about that. So um if you think, even let's dive a little deeper and talk about growing up. If you ask your parents to do something, they say no, you can't. And it's not that you couldn't. It's, there's other little things, and we just learn into that, and it becomes a part of us. So a lot of this, what we're asking you all to do is think about these things, because a lot of times we're just on autopilot. A question is asking your go-to answer is, oh no, I can't do that. No, but seriously, sit, think. Like,
Right.
look, we're not asking you to put 5, 10, 15. If you can spew them off, that's fine. But three things, just these three simple things, where do you find yourself? And if you guys need examples, hit one of us up on the back channel and say, I don't really know what a fixed mindset is. Can you guys give us a few examples?
And on that, when you have a fixed mindset in your life, that will carry over to your business. Because if you walk around 9 to 5 every single day going, well, I can't do that, I can't do that, no wonder your business is struggling, because now you're the CEO of your business. Now you're the one running the company. And if you're telling yourself you can't, well, now you're in your business and now your business is stuck. It's yourself that is stuck. And I know these are hard things to say. You are the best version of your business. You are the best version of yourself. So do that and be that. So as we move forward to the questions, Jenny, maybe dive in a little bit on how you can how a fixed mindset might be for preventing you to being successful. Jay touched on a little bit, but dive a little bit deeper. If you say you can't do something, what's the result you're going to get if you're always saying, not today, maybe tomorrow? What's that fixed mindset doing to your moving forward and being successful?
Yeah, so let's put it this way, guys. I'm sure you've heard things like this before, maybe not in this way, maybe you have. But the words that you're saying, words all have energy. And whether you're saying them out loud in your mind, I mean, you've probably heard this as well. We have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. And some studies say that, let's say, up to 70 and 80% of them are negative. And this is just part of being a human, part of just being alive. So there's nothing wrong with you for having those negative thoughts. But the thing is what are you attaching to? Thank goodness we live in a world where, we don't just say, like, I would love to see an elephant right now, and there's like an elephant in your room. Now, of course, when it's something that benefits us, we really want that to happen right away. But the thing is the words, it's paying attention to the words that you are using, whether it's in the stories that you're telling yourself or the stories that you're telling others. Start paying attention to these words, because these words hold power, they hold energy, they hold a specific meaning that then goes into your subconscious. And then you begin to attract that as reality, because your mind is not able to tell negatives. So no matter what you're saying, like, for example, like, oh, I can't do this. I can't, like, your mind is like, okay, great. Your wish is my command. Let's go ahead and show you all the ways you can't. And we're going to continue to bring up all kinds of examples of how you can't.
So
And the
make sure
thing,
that exactly. So as you write on this question, you don't have to have your whole book right now. Just name some of those things. Have it carry on an extension from that first question that we ask you. So stick that in that section right there. Before we go a little bit further, I have enabled the group chat. So you guys can talk amongst yourself. We can see them and hear it. This is a group conversation. This is us helping and supporting each other. So group chat is on. So, just you can talk amongst yourself and sit there, but we want you to be fully present as we talk, but also dive in there with your questions, or, oh, think about that. Share some light bulb moments as this is happening. And once we get through before we go into the growth, then we're going to bring you all up and start talking a little bit about some of these questions. So write down that what might be preventing you. And then let's move on to write down the 3 things about yourself that you like to change. And Jay, maybe guide a little bit on 3 things about yourself that you like to change.
Sure. And this could be anything. It
Yep.
could be life. It could be business, for example. Um, and we can get surfacey right now just to start. But I want you to think about the 3 top things. If you could change anything, let's say relationship, physical, health related, business wise. If you want to grow spiritually, like, what are 3 things that you can say, and even if it's good, but you want it to be a little bit better, you know. And we don't have to get super deep. Like, I wish I had $1 million in my bank account. Not yet, right? Let's talk
Right.
about things you can attain. Let's say in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months, right? Going through 2022 into 2023. What are the 3 things that you would like to see change within the next 12 months?
And Jay touched on a little bit about there's growth here. So the next series of questions will be about growth. There is nothing wrong with saying, I would like to have $1 million in my bank account. Put that abundance out there. And we're not saying that you can't do that, right? We're not doing back that fixed mindset to ourselves. What we're saying is right now, be honest. 3 things that you want to change, because now you get to reward yourself, right? So now we're going to go to Jenny, and we want you to list 5 things about yourself that you know got you where you are today. Now you notice we didn't say good or bad. Give 5 things. This is a chance for you to cheer yourself on, and also maybe go, you know what? Because of this, this is why I'm here, and this is why I'm stuck. So Jenny, maybe give us some examples of 5 things that they might want to write down to be proud of, or that they want to continue working on.
One of the things you guys can do is look back at some of the times where you maybe felt the most amazing, or you had a certain amount of achievement and success, and that's an energy, and that's a emotion that you want to tap back into. So you could put those types of things, accomplishments that you're super excited that have helped you get to where you are today. But you could also put the times that, because you guys know hindsight is 2020, right? So you could put that thing, like maybe that divorce or that business breakup or that huge client that didn't go well, because those are where the lessons are as well. And so we want to remember the things that have helped empower us, but we want to remember the things that have helped us to grow and evolve. And then we can use these things as fuel to help us really step into a growth mindset and help support us when we're like not doing as well too.
I love that. And so this is some of the fixed section, right? So now if you're brave, and I encourage you to be brave, right? Because talking out loud amongst us, you all know the 3 of us, Jenny, Jay, and I, this is a safe space, right? So come up, the hand raising is open, come up and share with us some of the things that you've wrote down. Let's work together. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate you, but let's motivate and educate each other as we go. So if you're comfortable, and I hope that we make you feel that way, be brave enough to come up and let us know any one of those questions that you're working on. What are 3 things that might be holding you back? Tell us what 5 things might have got you here. Raise your hand. We're going to give you a minute to come up, because again, this is participation. So if you can come up and let's talk. We'll continue going through, but we really want you guys to kind of work through this with us and have the conversation. So anybody want to come up and share on that section for you? This is a live coaching, y'all. This is a great opportunity to chat with us at this moment. All right, Autumn. Welcome to the stage, wedding planner extraordinaire. What's the process? What do you want to share with us on this fixed mindset section, my friend?
Oh, I somehow knew that no one else was going to come up and that I was going to have to volunteer myself so that it wasn't like complete silence, because I was sitting there going, I don't know if I really want to share about this. I feel like, and I think I know why it's coming up now, because it's kind of been coming up a lot the last couple of days, but like, as you were talking about, list 5 things about yourself that you know got you where you are today. And I was like, there were 2 things that really stuck out in my mind, and they're not great things that happened, but they, I mean, definitely propelled me to, where I'm at today. But for some reason, like just the trauma that I have gone through, and I feel like those traumas that I've had, as terrible as they were in the moment, really propelled me to find my voice and start standing up for myself, and subsequently start my own business and be my own person. And so that was a really big one that stuck out to me. And then the other one, interestingly enough, was kind of my coming out journey as well. Has really then created an amazing space for me to also be, in the education space and be there for my clients and be, an inclusive vendor that only works with inclusive vendors, and all of that. And so I feel like, although there were traumas in both of those things, they definitely ended up, I guess you could see the silver lining there, where they put me in the place that I'm in today.
Well, and again, thank you, Autumn, for coming up. And we don't mind awkward silence because silence means what people are thinking and working. What I want to say out loud to you is, as I always say, when you share your story, you inspire somebody else to do so. It may be hard, but one of Autumn's opportunities for growth is because when she shares her story, not only does it get easier to tell, there will always be tears, there will always be trauma, there will always be a negativity attached to it, but every time she shares it, somebody else gets inspired. So, Jay, there are times that our fixed mindset might be out of our control, right? There might be the reason we have a fixed mindset is because something happened to us, correct?
Totally correct. And I'm gonna share a story with you guys, you all, that I don't usually share. Jenny tells me I should share more, but for whatever reason, well, yeah, I know the reason. Um, and hopefully this will give you the strength, if not today, to come up and share. But I was born visually impaired. I've had more eye surgeries before the age of 1 than most normal humans would have to have in their lifetime. So I was born with cataracts. I got basically my lenses removed from both eyes, which resulted in me having to wear these thick trifocal glasses, right? So imagine growing up being bullied, being ridiculed, being all these things, right? Um, if we were to put a label on this, the bad that could scar somebody, right? But look at the good that came from this. Like, I was put in a position where I was basically told where, hey, you can do the bare minimum and it'll be just fine. It's okay. You don't have to do anything because you have this limitation. So for me, I use that as a proving ground. So I wanted to quote unquote be normal, and I've gone to I got a degree in graphic design. Technically I'm not supposed to do that because my vision isn't the greatest, right? And I've done all of these things basically because the world told me I couldn't, right?
Yep.
And I use that as a springboard. I use the and it's not even the limiting belief I had. It's the limiting belief that the world put on me.
Correct,
So
correct.
think about that. Even like these fixed mindsets we're talking about today, it's not because you don't believe it, because you all were born to be here for a reason. You were
Yep.
born with a special gift to shine your light. And it's usually the things other people put on you that make you stop and question, like, God, the universe, whatever you believe in, put you on this earth to do. And that's one of the things these coaching sessions is to let you all know that you are special. There's no good or bad here. We just want you to see you for who you are and know you're empowered to shift, create, and redefine your own reality.
And there's two stories of empowerment right there, right? So that is an empowering mindset. You let it empower yourself that I'm going to work through the negative things that have happened to me. There are two stories that we've shared. So, as always, when you share your stories, it inspires others to do so. And in both Autumn and Jay's case in this scenario, it inspires others to believe that they are empowered to do so. So we've talked now about the fixed mindset, right? So we've talked about how that sometimes is put on us by society and something else, but then we get that into our minds. Let's move on to growth mindset, right? So Jenny, if you can, let's talk a little about three areas of your business that you might have growth mindset. Where may we find that present in our business, Jenny?
The first place that we look, I believe, is we look at where some of our fixed mindset is, because there's a lot of growth in wherever we've maybe been stuck over the years. And even so, beyond that, if I'm going to give like something very specific, is you could look at your, like, now I'm talking growth, like the growth of your business and the direction that it's going. You could look there. You could look at your team. You could look at the services you offer, because anywhere that we have, it's just what's like Jay said, anywhere we have that society, industry, people have placed limitations on what our stuff should or shouldn't be, That, in my opinion, is the juiciest place to look for growth, because that's how a lot of the people that you look up to who have created amazing, successful businesses, who own their truth and their authenticity, they're not afraid to do the things that others are.
Exactly.
They're able to look beyond what's possible. And a lot of times too, we need like a coach or a person or friends or people or in our life. When we say, I want to do X, they go, you know what, let's do X plus Y and Z, because X, like, you're so much bigger than X.
Exactly. So that growth mindset helps your business go. So now what happens if we don't have that growth life, like that mindset in our life? Because it goes back, right? You start building a better business by building a better you, right? That's how you're going to start moving forward. So Jay and Autumn have shared some life experiences that they found growth potential out. They took a I can't, or I don't think you're worthy, or I'm going to abuse you, or let me talk down to you, or you're not going to be able to do that. And they found growth. Both business owners doing amazing things, sharing their story. So Jay, in our life, where's some areas that we might find a growth mindset? So 3 areas we want you to write down. 3 areas in your life that present growth mindset. Jay?
Friendships, family relationships, business partnerships. That's three off the top. Going from a corporate employee to an entrepreneur, growth mindset. A weight loss journey, growth mindset. Starting a new hobby, you know, growth mindset. These are all, and don't go into this thinking it has to be like this big, huge thing. You can find a
Nope.
growth mindset in the smallest things. You could find a growth mindset in listening to one of your favorite songs and like really listening. I see Chef Anthony's down there. You can find growth mindset like trying to cook a new recipe. Like the possibilities are infinite, you know? It's you have to be open. Like a part of the growth mindset is you being open to growing mentally.
And as we said at the beginning, there are no right answers or wrong answers here. What we want you to do is write down the areas. This is the work. This is the process. Nobody's going to see these worksheets. These are for you. You're investing in your time. I ask you to come with an open heart and open mind and be fully present as we shared today. So we want to make sure that this is what we're working on, right? So now we want to ask you guys to step into your growth mindset. Now that you've got this mindset, now that you know I've got to get out of fix, and I've got to go into growth, stepping into that role, what are some things that you need to change to get out of your own way? Just write a couple down here for the sake of the working on. Just write a couple things down. Stepping into your growth mindset. What do you need to change to get out of your own way? Jenny, why don't you expand on that for a little bit?
I want to say, first things first, the thing that popped in your head first is the thing that you need to write down.
There you go.
A lot of times we overthink these questions, and we overthink, especially if perfection or A type is part of who we are. So, whatever popped in your mind first, write that down. Because a lot of times, too, and look, like Jay said and Bobby said, this is a growth mentally, but a lot of times this is a growth emotionally as well. For us to be able to dig into those areas of life that sometimes are the darker areas. And I'm not talking darker because of violence or anything like that. I'm talking darker like you've locked them up in a box, right? And you don't want
Exactly.
to go there and you don't want to bring them up. But a lot of times releasing this emotion and releasing these things is one of the most powerful things that you can do. So, let's say, for example, one of the things to change is, the fact that you're so perfectionist about things. But this is like a deep wired thing. So it may not change instantly, but just writing it down and saying, what if I change this? I'm going to release all the limitations because this is something that's holding me back.
And that's the practice of writing things down. Write it down, name it, declaim it, write it down, give it energy, set it free. When you write it down, you're seeing it. So now that you're working on your growth mindset, when you write this next step down or what's holding you back, you've given it different energy. Braulio is up here. Are you going to share with us a little bit about growth mindset? New York Times says you're the absolute amazing bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah. So share. You have to have a growth mindset. Share, my friend.
Hey, thank you for that small introduction, Bobby. Amazing room. I'm working and I'm listening to you guys, and then it's so empowering to listen to you talk and to listen to
Thank you.
all these conversations. Yeah, I believe I can add something to this room. Because I'm an immigrant in Canada. I came to Canada in 2013. With nothing, alone, no money, no friends, no family. I didn't even finish high school in Portugal. My parents were very poor, and I started working as a janitor. My job was to clean toilets and mop the floor and vacuum carpets on a local synagogue at $13 an hour, working paycheck to paycheck. And then I, out of a chance, and if you want to read the article in the New York Times, something happened and I took initiative. I acted based on impulse and instinct, and I became the most successful photographer in the community that I serve. And now I went from making $13 an hour or $25,000 a year to six figures a year. And I have a successful business. I have people that work for me. I give me and my family a very comfortable life. And it all I like. Mindset is so important. Being competitive is with yourself is so important. I mean, ask yourself the question: when you finish college or high school, or when you finish your education, whatever it is, high education or low education, what do you want to do for the next 40 years of your life? Do you want to be
Exactly.
stuck in traffic? Do you want to be stuck in traffic twice a day, going to work and coming from work, after you're running around dropping your kids in school, and having somebody set what's your value in society? That's what a salary does. A salary is something that somebody else is valuing you. They give you a salary, they're telling you this is how much you are worth, and they convince you of that, and it becomes an addiction. Then you think you need that to live. It's when you break free of those chains, that's when you take control of your life. How do you break free of those chains? Now, I don't have any miracles here. I can only tell you about my experience. But you mentioned before God and the universe. I'm a strong believer in God. Everything that surrounds us is God talking to us. The sound of birds, rain falling down, the sound of a river, the warmth of the sunshine in your face, looking at the stars at night, the blue moon, the full moon. All of that is information that God is sending our way continuously. And sometimes it's like a lottery ticket. He's up there and he looks at you and he touches you very subtly. It's gonna be a whisper in the back of your ear. And if you pay attention, if you listen to it, if you listen to what he's telling you, act by impulse, instinct, follow your gut, take initiative, go and do it, and you release yourself from the shackles that society puts on you. I did this when I started saying no. I am worth more than $13 an hour. I am worth more than this. I don't need a salary set by somebody else to live. I actually, while I was working on a salary, I almost lost my house twice because I wasn't making enough money to pay mortgage. I almost lost my car. So obviously, a simple salary is not enough. I need something else. That's when I took control of my life. That's when I created my business. That's how I went from being a janitor to being an entrepreneur. And that's how I was mentioned in the first page of the New York Times. Think about this: a janitor with no education, cleaning toilets just a few years ago. I quit my day job cleaning toilets in 2019. It wasn't that long ago. A janitor, immigrant, toilet cleaner made it to the first page of the New York Times.
And on
What's
that
stopping you?
note, exactly. And on that note, that is an empowering. That's what we're wanting everyone to sit in this first week and this whole 5 weeks. This is what we're going to get to. And when we continue to share our stories. Jenny, add on that before we go to our next question because we do want to keep moving on with everybody. Thank you, everybody. And again, come up. I'm leaving hand raising open as we got going now. Come up, stick with the questions that we're on, and we'll continue to work and grow through this, Jenny.
Braulio, I want to celebrate you and I
Yes.
want to highlight a couple of things for everybody to, if you picked up on this, right? We've talked about fixed mindset and growth mindset. Fixed mindset is when you're more likely to give up or accept that this is the way that things are, versus Braulio switched from like that fixed mindset and stepped in the growth mindset and really said, you know what? I am going to make this happen. I'm going to find a way to make it happen. It's when you become resourceful.
Yes.
Resourcefulness is a huge aspect of having a growth mindset. And I wanted to highlight those things because Braulio's amazing story really touched on the differences and touched on, where you may be resourceful and willing to grow and find the solutions and dream bigger versus where you may be accepting, or you may give up easily, or you may feel like this is just, it's just luck. They got that because of luck. Anything like that is more of a fixed mindset.
Exactly. And so as we move forward to our next question, that's going to bring you into the write down 3 empowering thoughts that you can tell yourself each day. Just like the stories you've heard so far. I don't want to work for somebody else. I don't want to get stuck there. I believe in myself. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to go do something. Just like Braulio says, you might have lost your house. There's no guarantee that somebody else is going to get you where you need to go. Jay, Jenny, and I all believe 100%. We want you guys to hear it. You were put on this earth to make an impact. Regardless of what that impact is you driving the bus. A better you, get your better business going. We're talking about the two together because in this group, we're all entrepreneurs. We're wedding industry people. We're creative. So we're helping you with the mindset to your mind and life to help you grow into your business. So write down 3 empowering thoughts that you can tell yourself each day. And as you're writing those thoughts down, Jay talked a little bit about removing the word I can't. So give some examples, Jay, of how we need to talk better to ourselves. We won't go too deep in it because it's one of our other topics for another week, but just a little bit about why we need to look at that mirror and say we can do it.
First thing you need to talk when you're writing down these empowering thoughts. Write them down like they're happening now, right? Because Jenny touched on it earlier. Subconscious, it has no concept of right, wrong, time, or whatever. So whatever you want, whatever you're looking for, write those thoughts down like they're happening now. Like don't like I want to, like I am. I am. Because think about it. It's kind of like, you know, yesterday's gone forever, tomorrow never comes, all you have is today, right? So if you keep on saying I'm going to, you're always going to be reaching for that thing. So if you want to be the most successful wedding photographer in your area, be super specific. You know, I am the top wedding whatever you do, or I am the top whatever you do where you are. Like, speak it into existence, not
Right.
like it's to come. Like, talk to yourself like it's happening right now, you
And we
know?
talk and we talk often in this room about doing your elevator pitch, doing your 5-minute introduction. If you were with us last night in the room, we talked about Anthony. Anthony has empowered himself to be open to what might be coming without maybe knowing exactly where it goes. But his empowering mindset is like, if somebody comes to me, I will probably say yes for the opportunity because I am a chef. I am a celebrity chef. I want to do this, this, and this. Here I am. Come get me. Those are things that you need to put into your mind. So now, as you think about those things, I want you to sit for a few minutes here and talk about what is your definition of success today, like today on March 3rd or 4th, what day we're on. Where we want you to think about what is the success today versus when you first started. Now, this could be really long, this could be deep. I want you to get to the core of it. When you first started, man, it was a struggle. And look where you are today. So, write down your definition of success when you started versus today. And Jenny, dive a little bit in on that if you can, my friend.
I think one of the things that I hope that you have realized by now is you're not a fixed human being and your business is not a fixed thing. And I'm not even talking about the fixed versus growth. Like,
Right.
if you're still in the same place you were with your business, like where you started before, or you as a person, like the question I think then is like, why do I even have a business? So as we grow, as we evolve, as we learn, our definitions will continue to evolve and grow and learn. And so what this question is it's allowing you to capture, okay, where am I at today? Because the next question is going to help you expand.
Exactly. So I want you to think about that. Alex is in the audience and Helga's in the audience, and they have been with us for a while. We've heard where they started in their process with us, and we know where they are now. So I think they probably have a different definition. So if they ever want to come and share a little bit about when you first started versus now, and thank you all for letting me know that some of you are driving and can't talk, please continue on with that. We just want to invite you to be part of the conversation. So as you're writing those things down, then that next question drives you into this. Now that you have this empowered mindset, we're making these shifts today as we work down these questions. Now that you have empowered your mindset, what is your definition of success moving forward? What was it when you started? What's your definition today? And what will your definition be as you move forward? And y'all, that's going to be ever changing. That's going to be ever changing. So I don't know if Anthony wants to come up and expand a little bit on that for us, because he definitely has been evolving. But if he wants to come up and share, that would be great. But Jay, maybe touch a little bit on why this would be ever changing, where you were, where you are, and where you're going.
Yeah. Sorry, brain fart. Now I was just thinking, because if you think about it from the time where you are now, from the time you started your business, right? And sometimes that success looks like dollar signs, X amount of dollar signs equals success. And whatever your answer is, there, it's not right or wrong. If you see $1 million as being successful, that is you. So like, shoot for it, shoot for the stars. But yes, things definitely change, and it could go from, I just want to be a business owner, and a successful business owner would be like, I have 3 or 4 consistent clients every month. But then once you hit that, it becomes easy. The hardest thing is getting that first goal scratched off. And once you've done it, you can just rinse and repeat, right? So then it goes from, okay, I want to serve more people. And if you're serving more people, and if your initial goal was to make money, you're making money now. So like, okay, that's a no-brainer. So now, like, your inner goals might change. I want to make a difference in the world,
Yep.
So then that shifts from making money to, okay, now I'm making money. Now I can use this money to make a big difference in the world. So yes, they're going to ebb and flow. They're going to change. And sometimes we, um, put success in a container of where we are mentally too. Because if you're sick and tired of your job and you want to branch out and do your own, but you still need to pay bills, your success may be defined by a financial goal. And there's nothing wrong with that. But as you continue to tap into who you are, your authenticity, and you lean into your area of genius and figure out what works, what doesn't work, and who you are as a business owner, that changes and it grows. So as you grow, your definition of success will grow, evolve, and change as well.
And in that theory of that is, as you've all heard me say a million times as part of my mission statement, because when you do well, you can do good. And that's making an impact. That's using your voice. That's using your core value. Autumn, wants to make sure that she takes her experience and help others not experience it. But if they do, here's a voice you can hear that you can get through. Jay takes his mission of, hey, this is what I went through. Don't let what you physically look like or what attributes that might happen. If you're missing a finger, do not let something, if like with my learning disability, don't let others tell you what your success is going to be. Success is not always about money either. I want to be very clear here, because one of my passions is success to me, and I want others to listen about, is the freedom to do what you want to do when you need to do it to make an impact with others. True success is having the flexibility to, if I need to go help, whatever project I want to help on, I can go do that. To, if I just need to sit and listen with somebody, or if I need to roll up my sleeves and photograph 9 hours straight, the choice is there. The money will come. We often sometimes try to chase this revenue, and we need to chase profit, because if we're going to chase something, chase the profit, because profit gives you something to do. You step into your purpose, and when you step into your value, oh my gosh, does the world open up. So now Jenny's going to guide us a little bit on now that you're working, and we have you working, and you're working on your sheet. What is one thing that you can do today when you get ready to leave here, of the empowering your growth mindset to move yourself closer to getting past a roadblock that you may have joined us with. You may have came in here today with several roadblocks. When you came in and joined us today, you knew there was going to be a worksheet. So now that we're talking and we're all sharing, what is an empowering growth mindset move that you can take to help you get past a roadblock? Jenny?
You know, I think that as you're going through this, you're going to find some answers will just pop up that you may not have imagined. And here's what I mean by this is, let's say that your motivation for success has been driven by money. You're very money motivated. And let's also say that that same like drive to be money motivated has also been a little bit of your roadblock, because it's been blocking you from growing or blocking you from taking certain action because you feel that money has to come a certain way or things have to be a certain thing. So sometimes it could be our goals that we've held onto for very long that could be blocking us. And so one thing that we can do that would be huge to empower your growth mindset is, let's say that goal that you've had for so long that's been such a part of your identity of you and your business, what if that is the thing that you could change, let go of, delete? Like, what if that is the thing that can help propel you forward even more so? What if the thing that you've been holding on to the most, that you've been the least willing to let go of, is the thing that can help you move forward?
And that one little roadblock that gets out of the way, oh my gosh, you can now see the mountains. You can see the ocean. Moving one thing, exactly what Jenny said, can be a snowball effect to when you move one thing, look how many other little things go with it, because you put so much power and energy into this one thing that is holding you back. This one thing. And remember, if you think it's going to be hard and you can't get past it, then it's going to be hard and you can't get past it. So now we're going to come up into a little bit more questions here and come through a little bit. Excuse me, folks. And it's, what actions will you personally take in your life and in your business to move from a fixed mindset into a growth mindset? Jay, touch on that a little bit.
And I love this particular one because a lot of times, we're conditioned to think it has to be this big thing. We have to make this dramatic change like right now. And I'm going to use this example because my background is the fitness industry. But when someone feels the need to get in shape, it's like, I have to go to the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week. I need to start eating clean now. And sometimes taking those drastic of jumps or changes uh do more harm than help. And
Right.
it can be something as easy as being 1% better. And this is one thing, like me and Jenny's foundational coaching like philosophy: be 1% better than you were yesterday. And with that, you tend to accomplish more because you're giving yourself permission to not have to do it all and get it all right. You don't have to go to 0 to 100% and get it perfect, because let's be honest, a lot of us are perfectionists in one way or another. And it's like, okay, you're saying I just have to be better than I was yesterday,
Right.
and it becomes habitual. It becomes a behavior that, like, these little things turn into these huge steps. A lot of times we're looking for the big bang, we're looking for the fireworks. But the thing about a firework, especially a fireworks show, there's always a finale. There's a big bang, a big boom, and then nothing. That kind of happens when you try to do like 0 to 90 or 90 to nothing. So, but if you just work on making small incremental changes that become habits, that become a part of your behavior, and you stack on that, you can look back, like I said when we started this, 3, 6, 9, 12 months down the road, and look how far you've come.
And I love that. And Jay touched on that word habit. This can become your habit. You got in the habit of saying, "Oh, tomorrow I'll do that," or "I really don't think I can do that. I'm not sure I can step forward." These habits that you're changing, and it starts easy. Affirmations, all these things. I believe in this woo woo stuff. Jay and Jenny believe in it. You can call it, you can laugh at it, but I am here to tell you that this is one of the things that set people apart, because they believe that what they know how to do, it's possible to do what they know how to do. They believe that their passion is a strong driving force, and their mindset tells them, well, of course you can do this. Let's see how we can do it. Now, is it pretty along the way? Did they stumble? They'll share their stories. I always encourage people to share those struggle stories because it makes everybody stronger, right? And heck, if this was easy for you, if you've made $1 bazillion and you've cured 75 people's life, if you create a clubhouse here for all us to get together to talk, then that is wonderful. And maybe you did it with the flip of a switch and it wasn't hard for you. But I guarantee you that it was because your mindset told you that you could. And that's what we're trying to help you all with here. We're encouraging you. We want to inspire you. We want to give you the permission to move forward. Fail fast, fail often, get up and go. Learn fast, learn often, don't stop learning. I know Jenny has a question from the audience. And again, if you need to share a question to the audience, we have no problem if you don't want to come up. We're here for you. We created this worksheet to be interactive so that we all can grow together. Why? Because there's powers in numbers. And we will support and believe each other because sometimes that's what a fixed mindset is. You don't have anybody in your corner. There's nobody cheering you on. There's nobody saying that you are valuable enough to do that. Nobody is sitting there saying that is a good idea. The negativity might be there. And let's be honest, there's some of us that don't even have anybody that wants to give us negativity. Therefore, that becomes us. We step into our own fixed mindset because we don't have anybody believing in us, because we have never had anybody told us it's okay. We maybe didn't get that participation award when we were younger. All kinds of circumstances get us here today. That's our journey. So as you work on these worksheets, and as you stay with us for the next 4 weeks now, we are going to help you dive deep, scrape some bruises, scrape some bleeds, but we're going to put some Band-Aids on those for you. Jenny, please share your question.
I think the question's really coming from a place of, and the person, if you want to send me additional details, if you feel like I'm not expressing the question well, but it's really like, okay, cool. Like you guys are all, empowered, you're happy, you're positive, like shit's hard for me, like what do I do? And I think the thing that is important for us to remember is we've talked a lot about business because we are in the Wedding Pros Club and we do talk a lot about business stuff, but sometimes, we're putting on that like happy face, like that mask or whatever out in the world, acting as if we're happy when really it can be a little tough and challenging based on circumstances because everything seems to be falling apart. And you're like, well, it can be tough to see how can you make the jump from here, like where you are if you're in the muck, to there, this empowering mindset that we're talking about. That's how I am interpreting this question. And I really wanted to say a couple of things. And then, of course, I'd love Bobby and Jay to give their perspective as well, is, remember that this is a journey. Yep. And so while it is great to have people like me, Jay, and Bobby as models of possibility, and other people in your life who may have empowered positive mindsets as models of possibility, if that feels too far for you right now, the question is, where can you start now? How can you take one thing from what we've talked about today and make a small minor shift? Because the minor shift could even be from, all of your focus for the past X amount of days, weeks, months, years has been on all the bad things that have been happening or the weight and the heaviness of those things. How can you shift perspective and bring more joy and freedom and fun into that space? So how can you maybe watch more comedies and laugh more? How can you just focus on the smallest thing, like something that you're grateful for today? How can you and your family and loved ones, depending on who's involved in these tough situations, how can you guys together focus on the things that you're grateful for? Because part of this is going to get you to switch from, like it's like a tunnel vision. When you look around and everything looks like it's falling apart, how do you get out of it? Well, you have to start little things. You have to start like peeking over and looking at the light over to the left and to the right and above and below. And then focus on that light and focus on that and make that bigger and bigger and bigger. So remember that it's going to be a practicing thing for you as you go through these things. There's all different levels of mastery, let's say, but none of us, even us on stage, we haven't mastered this. The thing is we have these tools and we put these tools in place so we notice that we're going down a fixed mindset or we're going down a disempowering mindset. we put these tools in place to help put us back on the path that we really want to go. So
And
I'll go ahead
I'll
and
take you one
yeah.
step further. I'll take you one step further, Jenny. I'm going to tell this individual and everybody listening, you're stuck. You're knee deep in shit. You got everything's coming down on top of you. Step outside, scream, yell, right? You have got to release this energy from yourself. Life is hard. Life is never going to be perfect, but I also know that the space and the season that you're in, and we're going to talk about leaning into seasons next week, I want you to step. And I don't want you looking at what somebody else is doing. That's not your story. I don't want you to sit there and say, oh, woe's me. Own the woe's me. Say, woe's me, and don't stay in that space. Get it out. Throw it to the universe. Dwell on it if you have to, but don't sit in that space because I am here to tell you, and this is not from a mindset space. This is from a human to a human to a human. You were meant for more, and you deserve more. And there are people that wallow, and there are people that just never want to get out of that I can't do something. This is how my life. These are the cards that I was dealt. Go back to the deck. Pick a different card. Keep picking a different card. Every little thing that you do, if you wake up the next day and you walk outside and you go, for 5 seconds, I heard those birds, just like Braulio said. For 5 seconds, I saw the blue sky. For 5 seconds, I didn't cry because I was so lost. Those are steps. Those are growth. And within that growth, you're going to find a life that you can lead. Because if you're happy in life, I promise your business will come along as well. I firmly believe you have to be happy both places and things have to be moving forward. I get being stuck. Now, while the three of us can never say that we've walked in your shoes exactly or that we've been in your exact space, I can tell you that there are times currently and now we're still working hard to figure out what our next chapter is going to be. We're not millionaires. We're not billionaires. I don't aspire to do that because if I did, I would just want to do so much good. I would have so many other things. The possibilities would be for somebody else. But let's talk about being stuck right now and life being bad for you. You're sick. The world's the way that it is. How can you look in the mirror and give you a positive affirmation? You look in the mirror and you say, I'm here. And this is my segue to tell you, we need you here. My segue is to tell you that if you get to that point, you need to pick up the phone and talk. You need to find somebody to talk to, but talk in that mirror. Get it all out. Sit in it for a moment and then move forward. Jay?
No, I was definitely gonna say, and Jenny touched on, like, we're sitting up on stage, we're positive. Like, this shit is work. This
Yes.
shit is work. This is not like, there's some days where, like, we wake up, we're like, oh, I don't want to deal with it. And um me and Jenny, we're a partner couple. You know what I'm saying? Not only in life but in business as well. So there's ups and downs that go through that. And, like, yes, you see us laughing here on Clubhouse and stuff, but you don't see the behind the scenes stuff where we have to communicate and comprehend, because not only together, but we're doing this together to help you all, right? So we have to get past our shit to be um that model of possibility, or that beacon in dark times for you if you're struggling. And one of the things that is a go-to for me is, you have to have a strong support system,
Mm-hmm.
you know and if that's not a family, if that's not a friend, find someone here on Clubhouse, because I have those times where I reach out to a couple of people who I'm like, hey, I'm doubting everything I thought I was doing right now. And those people will give me a swift kick in the ass and remind me what I was put on this earth to do. And that's what you need to surround yourself with, because we go through these things where Bobby said it, and you're gonna hear a lot of that, mainly probably from me and her rather than Jenny, but that tough love. You know what I'm saying? And it's not because, like, we want to be mean, because that's definitely not it. It's that we believe in you. We believe that you were created to share your genius here. And so Yeah, it shit might be tough right now, but you have to find that thing. And I'm not asking you to make a 180 overnight. I'm not
Right.
asking you to make a
Exactly.
180
Exactly.
in the next 2 weeks or even 3 months. I'm asking you to start somewhere. And the thing with affirmations, um, if you're going to do them, you have to say them as you believe. You have to believe them.
Right.
You just can't be like, "Oh, I feel good today." And you feel like shit because it's not gonna work. So find an affirmation that you believe that you can speak into with power, empowerment, because life is hard. Life is challenging. No one said life is going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. And what you're going through might be, maybe, and probably is a story someone else needs to hear. Someone
Exactly.
else who's going to be where you were, who's at the edge, and something you say, and they might not even reach out. You might not even know that you're touching somebody. But when you share that, they're going to say, thank you. You don't know how much I needed to hear that and how much that strengthened me to carry on.
And you
Can I?
also, yes, Autumn, before you do that, but you also need to be able to say to yourself, just like Autumn can say to herself, just like I think so many of you in this room say to yourself, when you start helping yourself and you start helping somebody else, you're going to find together. Because when you start working on yourself and you start making those little strides, other people notice it. And that's when somebody, just like Jay said, comes up to you and says, "Oh my gosh, I've been struggling with that. I'm so glad to see that you did XYZ because that's where I was." Autumn?
Yeah, I just wanted to speak to all of this because let me tell you, the first time I was physically abused when I was 9 years old. The first time I was raped was in 2006. And I literally spent a majority of my life not healing from that. And only just recently. So when I say that those um, things propelled me to where I am now, I'll tell you, it's been maybe 2 years, not even that I fully have felt healed from those, and that I fully felt like I moved through those feelings. And so, you know, sorry, that's a lot of years of being in the
Right.
muck and being in the shit. And so I will tell you, it's not easy. It's work, and working through all of that shit is like peeling an onion. And there are times that I feel like I haven't even moved an inch because it feels heavy again, because there's something else that is coming up that I need to deal with. So it's going to be there, and there are going to be different things that come up throughout the process, but it is a process. So whatever space that you're in at this very moment is where you're meant to be to get
Right.
through that process.
The lesson is there. The lesson is, as you hear me say, you're going to disappoint a lot of people. The lesson is not to disappoint yourself, and we need you to get out to live life. Life is meant to experience. Take your time at this. This 5 week session is going to just get you further. It's not going to heal, right? We want you to work on yourself and find healing within yourself. So that's the course that we're trying to guide you with. It's heavy on business, but we're also heavy on the mindset side because we really believe the mindset side. So for the listeners that are stuck and things aren't working and you just can't seem to get that ever elusive big break, you have your break. Looking in the mirror every day and waking up and trying again. Keep trying. Because if you stop trying and you don't want to fight for it, you never wanted it to begin with. And that can be anything. Not so much the material things. We can all work towards material things. I want you all to really work towards that spiritual space, that believing space. I want you to work from a space that I am the best version of myself every single day. And on days, that may be 80%. I'm the best version of myself today, and that may be 50. But I'm the best version of myself today because I am a work in progress. As I work in progress, my business will grow. My business grows, I can grow a little more in my personal life. They go hand in hand together. And as we get ready to wrap up, that brings us to the one big question that I want to carry the dialogue on for another 10 or so minutes. I want you to write down two things right now, two things that would be possible if you just gave yourself permission. This can be business or life. You've been with us now for an hour. We've shared stories. We've gave you examples. We've challenged you with some fairly easy questions to start diving into. But right now, after spending this hour with us, what are 2 things that you can give yourself permission that you can make possible? Jenny?
You know, I think that with this one, at least for me, we're the ones teaching this. We wrote this stuff. These questions still make me think, guys. Like I'm sitting there going, where am I holding myself back? And I'm noticing what's coming up for myself, even is the places that I'm maybe scared to go. It's the places I'm scared of maybe judgment or scared of maybe what if I didn't make it, or even like places I maybe don't know what lies ahead. And I'm like, those are the things that, like, if I gave myself permission, like, my whole world would change. And recognizing and noticing that those things are keeping me stuck. Like, wow, I mean, just imagine if you were willing to say and step into all of this, like we're talking about here, just imagine what's possible. So if there's something that's coming up that's maybe like you've been avoiding, or it could be something big like that, or it could even be something small. You know, what would be possible if you dropped the mask of you're pretending that you're this or that and you just were? What would
And give
happen?
yours exactly. What is the worst that can happen if you gave yourself permission? This hour that we've had together and we've shared this space, and again, you've heard these stories. We've heard empowering stories. We've heard how to become empowered. And this worksheet that you're going to have this week for this one, you can use this when you get stuck some other time. Go back and revisit it. All the worksheets we're going to give you are going to be continuing in the growth process, right? This one's going to help you with the fixed, and then we're going to be growing. Michelle, you have grown. You have worked in multiple businesses. You are growing in your personal life. Things are hard for you. Things get positive for you. How are you using an empowering mindset to get you where you are today, my friend?
Yeah, thank you, Bobby. First of all, I just have to say that, Jay, Jenny, and Bobby, this is a really great room because I feel like it reminds everybody that we are all human and we're really all the same.
Yep.
And just a side note, Autumn, I love you, but you already know that. So over time, through my multiple careers, when I say multiple careers, it's really been medicine and this, right? So I was going into medicine really because I fell in love with the world, but everyone knew me as the quote unquote stereotypical artist. And I had that stereotype of, I never went to school. I always wanted to doodle this and that, but I wanted to do it and I wanted to go far. And I did. I ended up graduating with my pre med. I ended up going towards my doctorate in physician's assistant studies. And I, ended up proving that to not only myself, but to my loved ones who were there supporting me, but always wondered, oh my God, is she going to fall? Is she going to,
Mm-hmm.
but I did it, right? Then it took a complete turn, and now I'm an entrepreneur of a successful business. Who would have ever have known that? I took a portion of what I went through in medicine. I feel like the world kind of evened out the playing field for me in regards to my aspirations. I was an artist, then I went into medicine, and then I kind of combined the two. I don't want to go in what I do. You all know what I do, but
Right.
my patients inspired me to go back to my art. So now I'm here wondering, building this business from scratch. And I do have the everyday, oh my God, am I able to do this? Oh my God. But, I have, to answer your question, Bobby, I've given and allowed myself to have mistakes, to be able to fall,
Right.
to learn, to give myself grace. But at the same time, don't be scared to go up to that person who you think is untouchable and introduce yourself, because 99% of the time they'll look at you and shake your hand and want to learn about you and your business. And thankfully I have that in my personality, but doing this business really made me question it a lot. And I've just allowed myself to make mistakes.
And what you just
And
said in
yeah,
there was that you shifted your focus from challenges to
Right.
the benefit, right? So here's the
Exactly.
challenges, but you know the benefit that your business brings your clients, brings
Right.
you joy. And so
Exactly.
when we talk about the question that came up earlier about I'm stuck, find what gives you those goosebumps. Find that thing, that spark that lights you. Because when you come from that place of joy and you step into your purpose and you step into your value, you're going to be unstoppable. And so Michelle just shared, I went from this 9 to 5 and all these things that were always busy. She was making an impact as a nurse. She could see the impact she was making. It wasn't always happy. Sometimes people passed away. This is life. She experienced what life was like, life and death. So she took what she thought, okay, here's a challenge. I don't see anybody doing this. So the challenge would be, how do I convey that? And she shifted that mindset. She took that from that fixed mindset to a growth mindset that says, I'm going to take this challenge and I'm going to turn it into a benefit. And we all have to learn to talk like that. We have to, like I said, learn fast and learn often and stop shifting it onto, well, I can't, but embrace the possibility if you just gave yourself permission. Jay?
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. And honestly, your life is limitless if you give yourself permission. But a lot of times, due to whatever, like sometimes upbringings, social constraints, boxes we choose to put ourselves in or let others put ourselves in, really limit the scope of our imagination. I know some of you have kids, but think about it. Like when your kids are young, like they don't care. They don't care. They'll take a box and be like, "What are you doing?" I'm flying to Jupiter. Like, that's crazy. But like they don't. You can't tell them anything. Like, how many of you remember that and want to reconnect that? Like, if life was limitless, if you didn't have to worry about anything, what would you give yourself permission to do? And if you play around in those ideas, if you try them on, it's strange, but like Bobby said, we're totally into the woo woo stuff. So if you're sitting back laughing, I really don't care because
Right.
I've seen this happen. But if you play in that realm and try on those ideas, you will start to see things manifest that start to open up the way for you to do those things.
Exactly. So as we get ready to wrap up, I'm going to add a couple of things. Please let us know that you're getting value out of this. We have developed a 5 week program. We have poured our heart and souls into creating some things, and it's a system. We sat down and said, how can we serve the Wedding Pros Club because of the questions that we were getting asked? And instead of each one of us doing a room here for 20 minutes, we're going to combine our talents. They can still do some rooms. I will still be doing a couple pop-up rooms. We're still going to talk business here. But this was the core of what people were asking. We don't have the right time. We don't know when the best time is going to be, but this is when we can hold space. So please let us know in the Facebook group and other places if you're enjoying this. And then our offer to you is this. You can DM us and you can let us know. We're happy to find another and keep it a private clubhouse over the next couple days. If you would like to gather and sit in a clubhouse private room and dive into your questions and dive into your answers. We can take each week, we're willing to do that. We'll find a slice of time that we can say, hey, this is when we can do it. And we'll do it in the clubhouse. You still have your audio on and talk if you want that. We're offering that extension, right? We're offering that extension. Take 45 minutes or so to sit in a private clubhouse room if you want to share as a group, right? We're offering you this space. We want to know that these are the questions and answers that we can help you move forward. And we want to know that we're helping you because we've put our time in and we're ready to bring you 5 weeks. We had a lot of people show up here. We got a lot of DMs behind the scenes that 2 o'clock time is hard, but the 5 o'clock time hard. But that's the beauty of replays. So you're able to come and listen to the replays and it's going to be there. So you can put us in your ears. You can put us in your earbuds if you start doubting yourself. For a moment, if you didn't want to print off that worksheet and you think, oh my gosh, we talked about that, let me go back and hear what Jay and Jenny had to say. This is your invitation to let us guide and work with you, right? We want to help you get out of your own way. We want you to learn fast and learn often. We want you to become making a habit, as Jay says. Get in the habit of believing and betting on yourself because you were put here to make an impact. Jenny or Jay?
Can I just add something really quick,
Sure,
Bobby?
sure.
Just on what Jay was saying, for those of you who have children, just try to look at yourself through your children's eyes. And this has brought me to tears a couple times throughout my career and also being a mom, with self doubt and everything. Your children look at you like you are everything, that
Yep.
you can do no wrong, that you are the superhero, that you are, your rolls in your stomach and your cellulite on your legs are like amazing. They're comfortable clouds to lay on. It's like try to realize and sit down that your children view you as perfection. And sometimes we're too hard on ourselves. So I just wanted to kind of add that on as a mother's point of view to what Jay was saying. So I'm
Oh,
Michelle,
it's
and I'm speaking.
I love it. Jay, go ahead.
No, I agree. And definitely, like Bobby was saying, there's a lot of work, mainly with her and Jenny, that's gone into creating the next 5 weeks. And it's something special. It's something special. It's going to be something that builds upon um, what has happened today and what's going to happen. And if you just take action, even if you download the worksheet and sit with it and actually, like, honestly answer the question. Like, this, we don't want this to be like one of those rah-rah conferences you go to, you
Yep.
get real excited, you get stuff, you take it home, and it sits in a binder for 2 years, and then you're same place, kicking yourself in the ass wondering why business hasn't gone anywhere. We're doing this because we want you all to take action, and we know and believe the things that we're teaching and coaching on here will transform your life into the life and business you deserve if you will let it.
I love that. Jenny, wrap us up, my friend. Wrap us up.
As we're wrapping up, I would actually love to hear from Autumn, Braulio, Michelle, or anybody who wants to come up and quickly say, what is the one thing you're going to take action from this time together? And if just be super quick with it because we are wrapping up, but I'd love to hear from you guys. What is the thing you're planning on taking action from? Also known as like your biggest takeaway from our time together. Autumn, you're up first.
So I would have to say that my biggest takeaway is that I'm going to start accepting the things that are coming my way and not always, saying that I don't deserve those things that are coming my way, basically.
I love it.
I love it.
Braulio.
Yes, I love it. Perfect. Go ahead, Bobby.
Braulio. Is he with us? He's not. He's driving. He's listening. Michelle, go ahead, my friend.
I think the one thing that I need to continuously work on is to put my pride aside and listen to constructive criticism even better and more open minded than I have been.
I love that. I love that.
And even Michelle, pay attention to the words. Need to has a very specific feeling about that. So I want to, I choose to, I am going to. Needing to usually keeps it in the dumpster. So think about the wording when you're talking about that and you're saying that to other people in your life.
And that's not an ego thing either. If you say, I'm going to accomplish this, I want you to understand that's not an ego thing. Ego comes along. It's the big brother and big sister to fear, right? So ego shows up when we're really fearful or something. That's when we get defensive or doing something. So when you set out and you talk about yourself, which is going to be one of our lessons or one of our weeks, when you do that, you just need to remember that the words you give yourself are not from an egotistical place, they're from a place of what you deserve to create that life. Right? I love it. I think we got some more chats in there. Yep. Linda, thank you so much. Thank you for that. Thank you so much, Samantha, for coming in. Samantha's favorite quote takeaway is, I'm the best version of myself today. Run fast and run often. Thank you, Samantha, for those. I appreciate that. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We're going to be right back here for week 2 on March 7th at 11 a.m. Eastern. We're going to have our Monday mindset. We're going to kick you our week off on Monday. Normally this time slot that we have here for the Wedding Pros Club, but we're going to grab that. So we're going to kick you off next week with Lean Into Your Season. So thoughts to be thinking of is, where are you in your season? How are you going to lean into it? It's okay to be where you are. We're going to meet you where you are, and you're exactly where you need to be. So Jay and Jenny, wrap up the last few thoughts, and we'll let everybody on their way. Remember, because you are Fabo, and you're going to go out today and do great things because you deserve this amazing life and this amazing business because of who you are. I couldn't share this stage with anybody more perfect for me to be with and more aligned with my values than Jay and Jenny. So I thank all of you for sharing space with us. This is our heart and soul. This is how we want to empower you. So Jay, thank you.
Bobby, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Like, we love you so much, like so much, so much, so much.
Thank you.
So, yeah, there definitely the feeling is mutual, and everyone who's still here, I want you all to remember, like we've stated before, like there's been a lot of information that's been shared over the last hour. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a lot more information that's shared over the next few weeks. This is a process. You know, this is a process. You're not going to get it and master it and be like, yes, I've got it. No, it's going to take going over and over and over and over, and you might get stuck even with trying to answer the questions. But take a break, take a beat, go back, come back to it, and just consistently like work on it. Like, the only way you eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So please be 1% better. Remember that. And remember, like Autumn said, you are wherever you need to be. There's a learning lesson here, and keep on showing up, and we'll still continue to provide the value. Happy Thursday, and holla.
Jenny, anything?
I just dropped in the chat that as you guys
Yes.
continue to process and integrate, we want to hear your biggest wins, your takeaways, your mindset shifts, your favorite moments from today. If you are a wedding pro, you can definitely come share them in the Wedding Pros Facebook group and tag us. Definitely want to help share and impact other people's lives. If you are listening to this and you're not a wedding pro, you can always reach out to us directly. We'd still love to hear that and support you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Go out. You're fabulous. Bye bye, everybody.
For more information about today's show, check out the show notes on the BFabo blog at bobbybrinkman.com. Along with some offers for our listeners, you'll also find information about how to work with Bobby as a coach, a speaker, or for workshops. She'd love to collaborate with you. Oh, and don't forget, subscribe to the podcast to keep motivation coming to your earbuds. Be Fabo.